Chapter 36. Down on the first floor, Charles and Andrew were working their way around the semicircle of 3-story tall, floor-to-dome bookcases filled with fiction. It was nearly 8 p.m. "We need to find that blasted book," said Charles, craning his neck to study the shelves. "I'm getting kind of hungry," mumbled Andrew. "You had a snack this afternoon," snapped Charles. "Well, now it's time for dinner." "No, we need to find Anne of Green Gables first." The classic by Lucy Maud Montgomery was the middle book on the top shelf in the staff picks display case. So far, Charles, Haley, and Andrew had not been able to find it anywhere in the library. "Unfortunately," said Andrew, "they've temporarily erased the book's call number from the database." "So we wouldn't know what to punch into the hover ladder's control panel," grumbled Charles. "Actually," said Andrew, "they might have shelved it in the children's room, or maybe in the 800s with literature. Could be in the 400s too, because it was originally written in Canadian, which is technically a foreign language." "So you've said, Andrew, repeatedly. But we've already searched those other locations several times. It has to be here with the other fiction titles. You just need to fly up and find it." "Well," said Andrew, "I'm kind of afraid of heights." "Fine, whatever. I'll go up and grab it, but you have to give me some kind of call number to enter into the hover ladder." "Lucy Maud Montgomery wrote other Anne books. There's Anne of Avonlea." Charles dashed over to the nearest library table and swiped his fingers across the glass face of its built-in computer pad. "Here we go. Anne of Avonlea by Lucy Maud Montgomery. F-M-O-N. "Yes," said Andrew. "Fiction books are usually put on the shelf in alphabetical order by the author's last name. Non-fiction titles are classified according to the Dewey Decimal System." "How long have you known this?" Andrew's nose twitched. "Since 2nd grade. "So all we ever needed was F-M-O-N? We could have found this book hours ago?" Andrew gulped. "You're such a disappointment." Shaking his head, Charles huffed over to one of the hover ladders. He quickly jabbed F-M-O-N on the keypad. The boot clamps locked into place around his ankles. "You owe me for wasting all this time, Andrew. You owe me big time. If you let me down once more, I swear I will tell everybody you're a big blubbering baby. I'll Twitter it and post it on Facebook." "Don't worry. I'll make you glad you picked me for your team, Charles. I promise." The hover ladder lifted off the floor and gently glided up to the M section of the fiction wall. Shuttling sideways, it carried Charles over to a shelf displaying all the Anne books. He grabbed a copy of Anne of Green Gables. As soon as he did, the ladder started its slow descent to the floor. "What'd you find?" asked Andrew when Charles landed. "The clue we needed." He showed Andrew the card that had been tucked inside the front cover. "Okay," said Andrew. "That's C plus hat. So the word is chat, which, by the way, could also be chat, the French word for cat." "Well done, Andrew," said Charles, even though he knew the clue was really C plus Anne equaling can, thereby making the puzzle "you can walk out the way blank blank in past blank." The way what did what? He wondered. What does in mean? Charles desperately needed to find the 3 missing pictograms. Suddenly, Mr. Lemoncello's voice boomed out of speakers ringing the rotunda. "Hey, Charles! Hey, Andrew! Let's do a deal!" Game show music blared. A canned crowd cheered. Charles turned and saw shafts of colored light illuminating 3 envelopes perched on top of the librarian's round desk. Clarence, the security guard, marched into the reading room and, folding his arms over his chest, took up a position near the 3 envelopes. "We have a green envelope, a blue envelope, and a red envelope," said Mr. Lemoncello. "In 2 of those 3 envelopes are copies of 2 of the 3 pictogram clues you still need. In 1, there is a clunker card. If you pick an envelope with a clue, you get to keep it, and you get to keep going. But once you pick the clunker card, you're done, and you must suffer the consequences." Andrew raised his hand. "Yes, Andrew?" "What are the consequences?" "Something bad," said Mr. Lemoncello. "In fact, something wicked this way will probably come. Do you want to do a deal?" "Yes," said Charles. The canned audience cheered. "All right then. Charles, you roll first." "Pardon?" "Swipe your fingers across the nearest desktop computer panel. The Dice Tumbler app is up and running." Again, the pre-recorded audience cheered. They sounded like they loved watching dice tumble more than anything in the world. Charles slid his fingers across a glass pane. The animated dice rolled. Ooh, cried Mr. Lemoncello. Double sixes. That gives you a 12. Is that good, sir? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, Andrew, your turn. Peckelman tapped the glass. The dice flipped over. Another set of doubles. Yeah, muttered Charles. 2 1s. Snake eyes. Is that bad? Asked Andrew. Maybe, said Mr. Lemoncello. Maybe not. Okay, guys, which envelope would you like to open? Charles thought about it while TikTok music played. They were given this chance to play Let's Do a Deal after they located the Anne of Green Gables clue. Coincidence? He didn't think so. We'll take the green envelope, sir. Clarence presented the green envelope to Charles. Open it, said Andrew. Open it. Charles undid the clasp, pulled out a card. A loud zonk rocked the room. The card was black, with blocky white type. Uh-oh, mumbled Andrew. What's it say on that card? Sorry, kids, you're out of luck, read Charles. So out of doors, you're all now stuck. Clarence picked up the blue and red envelopes and marched back toward the entrance hall. What's that mean? Said Andrew. Well, said Mr. Lemoncello, Charles rolled a 12 and you rolled a 2. What's 12 plus 2? 14, said Charles eagerly, the way he always did in math class when he wanted to remind the teacher that he was the smartest kid in the class. Ooh, said Mr. Lemoncello, that is not good. In fact, I'd say it's stinkerific. Stinkerific? Said Andrew. Is that even a word? It is now, said Mr. Lemoncello. JJ, tell them what they've lost. An authoritative female voice boomed out of the ceiling speakers. Warning, due to a clunker card, all 10 Dewey Decimal doors will lock in 10 minutes at exactly 8 o'clock. If you are in one of those rooms, kindly leave immediately. The 10 doors on the second floor will remain locked for 14 hours. Andrew panicked. What? 14 hours? I told you 12 plus 2 was bad, quipped Mr. Lemoncello. Of course, it could have been good. If you had picked one of the other envelopes, you would have received a clue and a free 14-month subscription to Library Journal. Charles did some quick math. Sir, does this mean we'll be locked out of the 10 Dewey Decimal rooms until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? Bingo, said Mr. Lemoncello. It sure does. This stinks, whined Andrew. We need those stupid rooms to solve your stupid puzzle. Clunker cards stink. This game stinks. 14-hour penalties stink. Charles did his best to block out Andrew's rant. He needed to think, and then it hit him. Kyle Keeley's team had to be working on some other solution to the bigger puzzle of how to escape from the library. Otherwise, Charles and his team would not have been able to find the 9 clues they'd already picked up. Sure, if Keeley's team had been playing the same memory match game, they would have found at least one of the pictograms before Charles, Andrew, or Haley did. They must be working a completely different angle. Charles was certain that if he could use this downtime to learn what Keeley and his team had in their meeting room and combined it with his picture puzzle, he would emerge from the library victorious. Do not despair, Andrew, Charles said confidently. We are still going to win. How? Charles leaned in and cupped a hand around his mouth so no security cameras could read his lips. Remember, he whispered, you need to pay me back for wasting a ton of time in finding Anne of Green Gables. What? You're the one who picked the stupid green envelope with the stupid clunker card? Charles narrowed his eyes and chilled his hushed voice. So? Nothing, said Andrew nervously. Just thought I'd, point it out. Charles turned his eyes into blue ice. So, whispered Andrew, swallowing hard. What exactly do you want me to do? Find a way to sneak into community meeting room B. Andrew wheezed in a panic. That's impossible. Don't worry. I have an idea. What is it? 2 words. Sierra Russell.